So that really leads me to Crawford. If let's say the rematch does not happen, which some are saying that Spence wants to do the rematch, but let's say it did not happen next, where does Crawford go from here? Because there aren't really that many names, and I'm
Well,
assuming he wants to be on
what
pay
I
per
would
view.
think, Jamel Charlo ain't going back down to 54. That's dreamland. So what
Right.
they really should do, they really should do this. Crawford has established himself as a 35 pounder nobody would fight as world champ, a 40 pounder as unified as undisputed, a
Undisputed. Yep.
47 undisputed just destroyed Earl Spence. What they should probably do is make two fights. Make Crawford the champ. I mean, if Crawford and Zoo fight for the BC and BO title, he'll have the BO. Have him fight for the BC and BO title, and then have the other guys fight respectively, each one for the WBA and IBF, and then let him go fight the IBF champ, let him go fight the B champ, and he'll be undisputed at 154. Nobody's beating this guy except Father Time. Nobody's going to beat this guy.
Right. And I mean, he's obviously going to be the massive favorite everywhere. I guess maybe would they think considering Ennis? Do you think they would even want to fight Team Ennis after seeing that?
Well, he would have to fight. Oh no, Ennis is 47 now.
47,
No,
yeah.
there's no money. There's no money in Ennis. Where's the money?
I mean, it's tough because
There's a
Ennis has
lot
never
more
been on
money
pay
to
per view.
fight Zoo. There's a lot more money to fight Zoo than there is Ennis. Ennis at 54 than there is the other guy at 47. A lot more.
Maybe Crawford's thinking, I got to get Ennis out the way because 2, 3 years, Ennis could get better, Crawford could get worse.
Well, I think Crawford has made enough money, and it's about legacy. And I think the legacy is at 54 with Zoo because to go for undisputed at 54, they'll be undisputed in three weights. So I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
got a lot to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that is one form of legacy, but also Ennis, if he becomes a champion later on, you could say kind of what like Mayweather did with Canelo. I don't know if Ennis is going to get to that level, but you beat the guy who ended up becoming, a bigger star or whatever, a big star
Yeah,
and a
I mean
big
that's
champion.
listen. Everything's on the table as long as there's a lot of money attached to it and legacy for Crawford. Listen, Crawford's what every fighter is supposed to be, and every fighter should attain to be a great fighter.
Right. And one thing, well, what about like a Thurman or a Virgil Ortiz? I know they're not really legacy, but I guess those could like potentially be on pay per view. I
Thurman,
know Thurman's kind of been inactive,
Thurman,
but
the
he has
fucking
a name. He has a name.
Thurman. He's a fucking irrelevant. He hasn't fought but once in 5 years, and that was over 18 months ago, 20 months ago. He's done like a dinner. He gets stopped in a couple rounds, 2, 3 rounds, he'd be out of it, maybe four at the most.
No, I agree, but he could sell it. He could also he has one fight left on the PBC deal, right? So he's got to fight someone on PBC, right? Oh, Zeus with PBC also. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Man, what about Virgil? I know he's had some weight problems, but he wanted to be the WBO
So,
mandatory.
well, had weight problems at 47. I don't think he'll have the weight problems at 54. So I think that's a possibility with him and Virgil and Crawford. If Virgil gets one more fight and gets back and shows he can be strong again and he's healthy, that's a hell of a fight. The people would buy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, I would make Crawford the favorite in every fight. Like, obviously, he's number one, and I get all that. But I'm just thinking of possible big fights. This would never happen, but you imagine they did a Conor Ben and Crawford, UK and America. Eddie Hearn would never do it,
Crawford,
but
Connor Ben would get beat up so bad he'd be screaming for his mommy and daddy.
yeah, I think they would never do it. But that's the thing people always talk about, like, the record, could he get past Mayweather's 50 and 0? First of all, I don't think the record's a big deal, but I don't think he's going to fight long enough to even have the amount of fights. That's 12 more fights. He doesn't seem interested in doing that. He's already
No, he's going
35,
to fight.
36.
My prediction is he fights 4 times over the next 3 years, and packs it in.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it'll probably be Zoo, maybe Ortiz, Ennis, like who, like, the other champion, whoever has the other belt at 54, that
Right.
kind of Spence rematch potentially. But,
Once he wins 54, comes undisputed. I could see him packing it in. I could really see him packing it in.
yeah,
Maybe one soft touch as a last
Middleweight.
fight in Omaha, where he fights for less money and puts on a great show for the fans and calls it a day and walks off into the sunset 44-45-0. I can see that happening.
You think he could test the waters at middleweight? I mean, I know it's extreme, but there
Well,
really
he
isn't
can,
anyone
and
there.
he would beat Jermell Charlo, the 60-pound Charlo. He would beat him, but I don't think it's going to come to that. I think he'll be too old by then. 4 more fights, all that money in the bank. I don't see him becoming undisputed because I think it'll take too many fights, too many years, and I just don't think so for that
Yeah, it's
reason.
tough. You keep moving up in weight. It's everyone has a limit.